particular date, June the 6th, of course, which we now know to be D-Day, I don't know about you, but I'm appalled that this is not actually now taught inside British schools. You know, British history is so important as anybody's history around the world. It really is about celebrating the good and the bad that you've gone through. But seemingly, you know, the younger generation want to wipe away anything, whether they just simply don't agree with it. I don't know about you, but in our day, you were taught to look at statues. And I remember going out from school and being shown statues and explaining the people who they were, what they'd done, what they'd achieved, good and bad. We, you know, discussed everybody from Hitler right through to Churchill. It didn't matter because it was part of our fabric of history. Now, when you think about D-Day, it's so much to be celebrated and remembered for. You know, people look at it in a very negative way, but you have to remember we would live in a very different world if it wasn't for those brave men and women, not just on D-Day, but throughout the war. You know, all the brilliant girls and boys that decoded things out at Bletchley Park and stuff like that. So this particular story, I just simply wanted to share it with you because I thought it was very heartwarming, in fact, because a very special man, one of the few remaining veterans, literally, of D-Day, was invited for his 100th birthday to meet His Majesty the King at Buckingham Palace. Now that would be a birthday to remember, even after everything else he's gone through, I'm sure you'll agree. All of those beautiful boys and girls that, you know, flew the Lancasters and the Spitfires, this particular man, Jim Miller, certainly had a birthday to remember at Buckingham Palace. He was invited just last month, I know we're in June now, but just last month, to celebrate his 100th birthday and receive his very special card in person from His Majesty the King and Queen Camilla. Now, if you know this, of course, once you reach that wonderful age, what do you mean you've got there, Neil? No, once you reach that wonderful age, you normally receive a card, and so many people received a wonderful card from our late and brilliant monarch, Queen Elizabeth II. But of course, King Charles wanted to do something a little bit special, and this really is special because, as you can see from this footage and these pictures, Jim went along, and not only did he have a long and lengthy chat with His Majesty the King about his memories on that such special occasion, but also a cake was brought out and a drink or two, rightly so, given what he's done for everybody over the years, as one can imagine. His Majesty the King spoke afterwards and said that really he just loved getting those stories firsthand because, as he pointed out, the stories are told to you or you read about them, but literally meeting someone, the privilege of meeting someone who literally was there, lived through it and went through it all, he said is something quite magical to get firsthand. You could see that Jim, you know, because of course his length of life, really wasn't on to, shall we say, nervous about meeting His Majesty the King. And I think that's what made them get on incredibly well as a duo. I think, you know, the reason why I bring this story up is simply it's important to remember that for those that have done so much for us, and as we celebrate this particular special day coming forward, I think it's right and proper that these particular events in, of course, historical Britain should be remembered for many decades to come. I would ask you on this particular occasion, please like, share and comment, and let's get Jim's birthday something truly to remember as he reached 100. I'm sure you'll agree. Neil Sean in the heart of Yorkshire.